On the world news tonight, President Tinubu vows to address excesses of terrorism, bandits, or other security threats. First Lady urges Christians to assist less fortunate members of society. Plus, first of its kind International Civil Service Conference slated for May in Abuja. Hello there, good evening and welcome to the Rstv World News. My name is Emily Tari Mberu and today happens to be Good Friday. And also remember that Rivers State is a treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task you and I must accomplish. You can also watch our news live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And now details of the news. Chairman, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Rivers State Council, Comrade Paul Bazia, and other journalists who witnessed the induction ceremony of the acting general manager of Rivers State Television, Ambassador Paul Dambo, as an ambassador of peace, has described the award as an honor well deserved. They were speaking shortly after the induction by the United World Congress of Diplomats to mark the 2026 International Day of Happiness in Port Harcourt. Correspondent Nnamdi Olemele reports.
Comrade Bazia commended the United World Congress of Diplomats for the induction of the acting general manager of Rivers State Television, Ambassador Paul Dambo, as not misplaced but thoughtful. He urged him to see the recognition and honor as a call to higher service to God and humanity.
The reward for hard work is more work. And I know that with that award, it will also increase his service to humanity. The essence of the award is to encourage him to begin to do service to humanity. And I know that him that belongs to the household of God, he will continue to do that, continue to live an exemplary life, to continue to make people happy. So once again, on behalf of the over 400 journalists in Rivers State, we want to congratulate him. And I think that it will be a springboard for most people to begin to do some of the things that he's doing.
Other journalists who also reacted to the induction congratulated the AGM and called on staff of Rivers State Television to support him implement ongoing efforts to rebrand and reposition the station to function better.
Where he is now acting general manager, we can see a little turnaround in terms of training of staff there. I think there is a little improvement, and you will know that the man really deserves such award because he is a contributor to peace in the society, even in NUJ and even in the church.
A person like Paul Dambo is somebody who has grown in the ranks of media activities, administratively, reportage, and all circles of media work. And if today he is the acting general manager of Rstv, for me, I felt the acting is still a coin of what is supposed to be. So it is a welcome development, and I'm even using this opportunity to appeal to the state government to do something more better. I am aware that Rstv in the past is not the Rstv of today. There is more standard, there is more professional reportage in Rstv today than yesterday. And therefore, I am appealing that they should do something more better by removing the acting and making a substantive general manager.
Ambassador Dambo was considered for the award as a global diplomat not only for his service to God and humanity, but for his contribution to societal growth as a public servant and his positive impact in the lives of people. His humanitarian and professional activities and dealings with people is in line with the theme of this year's International Day of Happiness, celebration, caring and sharing, making the recognition and award well deserved. Addressing journalists shortly after receiving the award, Ambassador Dambo commended the group for the honor done him, which according to him will spur him to continue to put smiles in the faces of people wherever he finds himself. He said since assumption of office as the acting general manager of Rivers State Television, he has initiated projects and programs aimed at revamping and rebranding the station to deliver its statutory obligations and boost the morale of workers. Ambassador Dambo expressed readiness of the station to collaborate with the United World Congress of Diplomats and other organizations to publicize programs that will bring happiness to the people and engender a peaceful and varied society.
I feel elated. It's something I never solicited for. And it is also unique because it's coming at a time when Rstv is rebranding, and I'm impressed with what has been done today. The honor done me is actually a demonstration of my commitment in the little work I'm doing in my own corners. So I thank God for it, and it will give me further impetus to do more.
This is a large platform and there are lots of collaborations that would happen. So we're eager to deepen the activities of today and reach out and make sure that we give full value to the opportunity that has been given to us.
The acting general manager was among persons inducted as global diplomats by the United World Congress of Diplomats. Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
Hearty congratulations to Ambassador Paul Dambo. And now moving ahead, the commencement of the recruitment of primary and secondary school teachers in the state have been commended. Chairman and Nigeria Union of Journalists, Rivers State Council, Comrade Paul Bazier, made the commendation during the emergency meeting of the union. Nnamdi Olimini reports.
Comrade Bazier made the commendation as part of resolutions reached by members at the end of an emergency meeting of the union. He hailed the decision of Rivers State government as the right step in the right direction, given the shortage of teachers, which has adversely affected the education sector, particularly at the primary and secondary school levels. According to him, the gesture is a direct response to the pulse, yearning, and desires of Rivers people.
The Congress also took the decision to also commend the Rivers State government, ably led by His Excellency Sasimila Fubara, for the invitation to recruit teachers into our primary and secondary schools like we had been advised before.
The NUJ chairman also reminded Rivers State government to also embark on repairs of infrastructure at primary and secondary schools in the state, which according to him has been in a deplorable condition. He however appealed to the people and residents of the state to reciprocate by supporting the Governor Siminalayi Fubara-led administration to succeed.
We are also encouraging him now to take critical steps to ensure that the physical infrastructure, the schools are renovated to create a conducive atmosphere for teaching and learning.
Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
President Bola Tinubu on Friday assured Nigerians of a safer and more secure nation, while also reaffirming his government's resolve to tackle terrorism, banditry, and other security threats. In his Easter message addressed to Nigerians at home and abroad, the president acknowledged that despite the sacrifices of the armed forces and other security agencies, challenges to national security have persisted. According to him, government is making available the necessary resources and strengthening foreign partners to enable security agencies to deal decisive blows to terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements. Tinubu noted that following his condolence visit to Jos, Plateau State, where he commiserated with victims of the recent deadly attack, security chiefs had given strong assurances of progress, while international support was also mobilized to reinforce Nigeria's response. He further assured the residents of other parts of the country facing one form of insecurity or another that concerted government efforts are beginning to produce results, urging citizens to support lawful reforms, remain united, and reject forces that threaten the country's collective peace and stability. The president said no nation can make meaningful progress where fear prevails and assured communities affected by violence that better days lie ahead. Tinubu said Easter season symbolizes sacrifice, resilience, and the triumph of light over darkness, noting that its message resonates strongly with Nigeria's present realities as the nation navigates economic stress and security challenges. On her part, the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has urged Nigerians to use the symbolic sacrifice associated with the Easter celebration to help the vulnerables in the society. Oluremi gave the advice in Abuja on Friday in an Easter message. She tagged the blessed hope in Christ's resurrection as Christians globally remember the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The First Lady advised Christians to use the period to reflect the love and sacrifice that Jesus Christ portrayed while on earth as they celebrate Easter with their loved ones, friends, neighbors, and communities. Now, always remember that Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task you and I must accomplish. You can also watch our news live via Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Rstv PH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And after the break, 16 Kenyan nationals are missing in Russia's army. And in sports, Enugu para athletes garner over 50 medals in different categories. We'll be right back with more of these and more stories after the break. To stay.
Under the administration of His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara JSSRS, Governor of Rivers State, hereby invites applications from suitably qualified individuals with passion for classroom teaching for recruitment as teachers into public primary and secondary schools in the state. Applicants must possess a minimum of Nigerian Certificate in Education (NCE) for primary school teachers and bachelor's degree in education or postgraduate diploma in education with a first degree in any teaching subject for secondary school teachers. For further information, please check The Guardian, The Nation, National Network, The Tide, Independent Monitor, People's Herald, the gist newspapers of Thursday, 2nd April 2026, and the Ministry of Information website at www.moic.rov.gov.ng. This is signed by Professor Mrs. Ngozi Odu, JSSRS, Deputy Governor, Rivers State, and Chairman, Teachers Recruitment Committee.
Ready, set, 2026. When God turns all impossibilities in your life around. It is 5 days of God transforming lives, rewriting destinies, empowering men. It is not just a program, it is an atmosphere where God proves that all things are truly possible, a program where God turns impossibilities into testimonies. With God, all things are possible 2026. We don't just ask, we align. We don't just pray, we believe and then expect God's unfailing wonders. Date, Monday 6th to Friday the 10th of April 2026. Time, 5 p.m. daily. Youths and Teenagers Healing, Deliverance and Impartation Program. Wednesday the 8th of April by 9 a.m. Ministers Conference on Thursday the 9th of April by 9 a.m. Taking place at number 5 Canaan Land Avenue, behind the Magistrate Court, Wiki Bus Stop Port Harcourt. Come and meet the God of possibilities.
Rstv Television, the treasured station.
From the creeks of the capital, we tell the stories.
My name is Gostowa Anele, reporting for Rstv Television.
Areas of agriculture, education, infrastructure.
And the people who are concerned are actually calling for government intervention.
Stakeholders believe state police could alleviate the burden of federal police.
From Rivers State to the world, we keep you connected. Stories gathered, facts verified, truth delivered.
At Rstv, not only do we offer you authentic,
coverage. We offer the premium value, and our prices you can trust are fair and affordable.
Here in Rstv, our audience is our priority, our integrity, our pride.
Your stories told with truth and passion. That's Rstv Television. Stay with us.
Omega Power Ministries, OPM Worldwide, presents 7 Sundays Deliverance titled
Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting you for what God has given to you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there a wicked gang up against you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they attacking your children? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting against your miracle pregnancy? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they spiritually blocking your marital breakthrough? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there any sickness in your body that have refused to go? Summon that sickness to the court of heaven. When all that court fails, the court of heaven stands. Date:
Sunday 29th March, Sunday 5th April, Sunday 12th April, Sunday 19th April, and Sunday 26th April 2026.
Time 9 a.m. Venue: Dr. Jesus City.
4 p.m. Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Hey, welcome back. You're still watching the Rstv World News. And now to the rest of our reports. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Walton-Jack, has inaugurated 10 subcommittees towards the successful planning and execution of the 2026 International Civil Service Conference ICSI billed for Abuja from 20th to 21st of May 2026. She said that the conference is aimed at reinforcing Nigeria's position as a key player in global public service reform and collaboration. Walton-Jack described the inauguration ceremony as a strategic step towards delivering a world-class conference and building on the remarkable success of the maiden edition held in 2025. She said the previous conference showcased the Nigeria civil service not just as an administrative machinery, but a dynamic hub of innovation and a catalyst for national transformation. Walton-Jack urged the stakeholders to sustain momentum and raise standards as the global public service community is keen about the conduct of the 2026 edition. She emphasized that the civil service must be guided by the enduring principles of reforms, resilience, and results, stressing these ideals must shape both the planning process and overall delivery of the conference. Walton-Jack noted the performance of the subcommittees will directly influence the quality, impact, and the global perception of the event. 16 Kenyans are missing in Russia after joining the country's army, Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister Musalia Mudavadi had said, while 47 others have returned home from the front lines in Ukraine. 38 others are currently in different Russian hospitals under restricted access, according to Mudavadi. He added that the number of missing Kenyans had raised from 10 to 16 within the last 24 hours. It remains unclear whether they are dead or alive. The minister also estimated that 165 Kenyans are actively involved in military operations, bringing the total number who have participated in the conflict in Ukraine to more than 250. Mudavadi said that the total number could be higher, but added that 2 Kenyans are being held by Ukraine as prisoners of war. He said that the recruits had signed contracts to serve either as logistics officers or in combat roles. Still on the foreign scene, Cuba has freed 2,010 prisoners as a humanitarian and a sovereign gesture, its government has announced as it faces continued political pressure from the U.S. Those freed will include foreign nationals, young people, women, and those aged over 60, a statement from the Cuban embassy in the U.S. said on Thursday. It said the release was taking place in the context of the religious celebrations of the Holy Week, a customary practice in U.S.'s criminal justice system. Since returning to the White House, U.S. President Donald Trump has made clear his desire to change Cuba's communist leader and has blocked all shipments to the island, causing severe fuel shortages and widespread blackouts. The National Sports Commission, NSC, has announced a comprehensive three-part strategy aimed at strengthening Nigeria's sporting framework in 2026, focusing on domestic competition development, global talent engagement, and enhanced international representation. Central to the initiatives is the establishment of a main organizing committee for the maiden National Intermediate Games, scheduled to take place in Lagos. The competition is designed to bridge the developmental gap between grassroots athletes emerging from the National Youth Games and elite-level performers, with the Director General Bukola Olapade as chairman of the committee, underscoring the Commission's commitment to building a more structured athlete progression pathway. In parallel move, the Commission has set up a Diaspora Talent Discovery Committee chaired by Tunde Adelekun, an experienced professionals drawn from football, athletics, media, and sports administration as members, with a mandate to identify and integrate Nigerian talents based abroad into the national sporting system. Further reinforcing its international ambitions, the NSC has also unveiled Team Nigeria ambassadors ahead of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, tasked with supporting athletes' preparation and promoting Nigeria's presence on the global stage. The Commission said that the combined initiatives reflect a deliberate and strategic effort to deepen the domestic talent pipeline, expand Nigeria's global talent reach, and enhance the country's competitiveness at major international sporting events. Also on sport, the third National Para Games concluded with a vibrant closing ceremony at the Moshood Abiola Stadium Velodrome on Friday, seeing Enugu State emerging as the overall winners. The event was graced by several high-profile government dignitaries, including the wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashim Shettima, who represented the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The First Lady commended all participating athletes for their discipline, focus, and resilience, reassuring them of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration's commitment to creating ongoing opportunities for their excellence. Enugu State, the overall champions, will return to the coal city with an impressive haul of 40 gold, 8 silver, and 7 bronze medals. Bayelsa State secured the second place with 25 gold, 30 silver, and 34 bronze medals, while Edo State finished third with 25 gold, 14 silver, and 12 bronze medals. Rivers State and Lagos States completed the top 5, placing 4th and 5th respectively, with 21 gold, 21 silver, and 17 bronze, and 20 gold, 23 silver, and 20 bronze medals. Now, Rivers State is a treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. It is a task you and I must accomplish. Always remember you can watch us live on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And now to end the news, let's take a look at some of our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians of a safer and more secure nation, while also reaffirming his government's resolve to tackle terrorism, banditry, and other security threats. The First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has urged Nigerians to use the symbolic sacrifice associated with the Easter celebration to help the vulnerable in the society, as Christians globally remember the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We had reported that the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, has inaugurated 10 subcommittees towards the successful planning and execution of the 2026 International Civil Service Conference ICSC to hold in Abuja from 20th to 21st of May 2026, urging stakeholders to sustain the momentum and raise the standards. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Emily Tari Mbero. Do have an amazing night's rest and a beautiful, beautiful Easter celebration.